I'm Dr. S. Geeta, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. In this, I'm going to discuss about water analysis, determination of physical parameters. So, objective of this experiment is to determine the physical parameters such as turbidity, pH, and conductance of a water sample. Turbidity. It is the amount of particulate matter that is suspended in water. Particulate matter means solid and liquid particles that are suspended in air. And turbidity measures the scattering effect that suspended solids have on light. So suspended solid means solid particles remain in suspension in water as a colloid. The higher the intensity of scattered light, the higher the turbidity. So in the diagram, you can see that the uh, first beaker clear solution, second one turbid solution, and third one more turbid solution. And the material that causes water to be turbid are clay, silt, finely divided organic and inorganic matter, and soluble colored organic compounds, plankton, and microscopic organisms. And the turbidity of the sample solution can be measured by using a nephlometer. It is usually measured in nephelometric turbidity units, that is NTU. So NTU means nephelometric turbidity units, or Jackson turbidity units, JTU. So in the diagram, you can see that this is the nephelometer, and in this diagram you can see that the nephelometer contains the light source. So the light falls on the solution, the colloidal solution, and the light is scattered by the sample solution. The principle involved. So this method is based on the comparison of the intensity of light scattered by the sample under definite conditions with the intensity of light scattered by a standard reference suspension under the same conditions. The higher the intensity of scattered light, so the higher is the turbidity of the solution. Here we are using the primary standard reference suspension formazine polymer. So we are using formazine polymer suspension as the standard reference, and the turbidity of the specified concentration of this standard reference is 400 NTU. So nephelometric turbidity units. So now I am going to explain the experiment. So here you can see that this is the nephelometer, and these are the sample tubes. Here you have to take the samples, and this is the opening, and in the first you have to select, first we are going to find out the turbidity test of a given sample. So here you have to select turbidity, and standardization, you have to do the standardization first. So you have to click standardization. So for standardization we are using the formazine polymer. So when you are keeping the formazine polymer, you can see that 20 NTU in the nephelometer. So in the result, you can see that turbidity is 20 NTU. for formazine suspension. And next you have to select the water sample. So first you are selecting drinking water. So you have to load the sample. You have to click here load sample. So you can see that this is the drinking water. You have to place the drinking water inside the niflometer. And we can see the reading is displayed in the niflometer, that is 4 NTU. So here you can the result you can see that turbidity is 4 NTU for drinking water. Next, you have to keep sea water. You have to select sea water, and then you have to select load sample, and you can see that next sample is sea water and shows 11 NTU. So in the result you can see that turbidity is 11 NTU. So I am calculating the values in a tabular column. So you can see that drinking water, this turbidity value is between 5 NTU and 1 NTU, and sea water varies from 6 to 12 NTU. So next analysis is pH. So pH of water indicates the hydrogen ion concentration in water, and pH is expressed as the logarithm of reciprocal of the hydrogen ion concentration in moles per liter at a given temperature. The pH scale extends from 0 very acidic to 14 very alkaline with 7 corresponding to neutral. So in the picture you can see that 1 to no, the scale ranges from 1 to 14, and 7 is the neutral, and 1 to 3 is the strongly acidic, and 4 5 6 is the weakly acidic, and above 7 8 9 10 weakly alkali, and more alkali is 11 12 13 14. And this pH can be measured using a pH meter. So for this also pH meter must be calibrated before taking the measurement. For the calibration, we are using standard buffer solution of pH 4, 7 and 10. This pH is used in the calculation of carbonate, bicarbonate and carbon dioxide, corrosion, etc. Wastewater treatment such as water softening, acid-base neutralization, coagulation, precipitation, disinfectant, and corrosion control is pH is dependent. The pH of the water sample measures its hydrogen ion concentration and indicates whether the sample is acidic solution, neutral, or basic solution. So this diagram you can see that the pH meter, and here this is the pH electrode. Now I am going to do pH test. So first you have to select the test pH reading of water. So this is the pH meter. This is the pH electrode and beaker. You have to keep the solution in the. You have to keep the electrode inside the beaker, and then the beaker contains the solution. So for this also you have to do standardization of pH meter. So here For standardization, we are using the buffer solution. So first buffer solution, that is we have to buffer solution 4 pH. So first you have to click standardization and buffer solution 1, that is 4 pH. You have to select 4 pH. You have to click standardization, and in the display, that is in the pH meter, you can see that 4. So pH is 4. For pH buffer, 4 pH buffer, pH is 4. So here you have to, in the beaker, you have to keep the buffer solution. And next, you have to select buffer solution 2, that is 7 pH. Next, you have to click standardization. So you have to take 7 pH, and then you can see 7 pH in the pH meter. Here result also you can see pH value 7. So after standardization, you have to keep your sample solution. For that, how to select this water sample. Here you have to click water sample. First tap water, and you have to click switch on. So you can see that pH is 7. That is, you have to fill the tap water in the beaker, and you have to dip the electrode in the beaker. And you can see the pH 7. Next, how to select well water. Well water, you have to switch on. So here you can see that pH is 6.7. And next, distilled water. So you have to take distilled water in the beaker, and you have to dip the electrode, uh, and then you have to switch on, and you can see that pH is 5.8. Next, you have to fill the beaker with seawater. So you have to fill the beaker with seawater, and you have to dip the electrode inside the beaker, and you have to click switch on. You can see that pH is 7.9. So pH value is 7.9. So I am concluding the results in a tabular column. Is tap water pH 7, seawater the value ranges from 7.5 to 8.4, and well water, and it ranges from 6.5 to 8.5, and distilled water 5.8. Next I am going to discuss about electrical conductivity. The electrical conductivity is a measure of how conductive the water is to electrical current. So greater the ion concentration in water, greater is the electrical conductivity. And if the electrical conductivity is higher, and higher is the total dissolved solids. An electrical conductivity is an indirect measure for finding the total dissolved solids in a water body. So by measuring conductivity, electrical conductivity, we can find out the total dissolved solids in a water body. So the instrument used for measuring conductivity is conductivity meter. So in the diagram, you can see that this is the conductivity meter, and this is the conductivity cell. Now we are going to find out the electrical conductivity of a given water sample. So here, so here you have to select electrical conductivity. So here you can see that this is the conductivity meter, this is the conductivity cell, and the beaker. You have to place the sample solution in a beaker. And then here also you have to do standardization. So for standardization, we are placing the KCl solution of 0.01 normality. Here you have to place the KCl solution of 0.01 m, and we can see that conductivity 1412 microsiemens per centimeter. So first we have to do the calibration using KCl solution. After that, you have to place the given sample water. Next, you have to select the water sample. So first, we are selecting pure water, and you have to fill this beaker with the pure water, and you have to dip the electrode, and you have to switch on the conductivity meter. So you can see that conductivity is 0.055 microsiemens per centimeter. Next, you have to select deionized water, and you have to fill the beaker with deionized water, and you have to switch on the instrument, and you can see that conductivity is zero point 0.1 microsiemens per centimeter. Next, you have to select distilled water. So you have to fill the beaker with distilled water, and you have to switch on. Conductivity is 0.5 microsiemens per centimeter. Next, RO water. RO water. You have to fill the beaker with RO water, and then you have to switch on the instrument. You can see that 94 microsiemens per centimeter. Then next, I'm selecting the tap water. So you have to fill the beaker with the tap water, and you have to dip the electrode, and you have to switch on 532 microsiemens per centimeter. And the next, potable water. Potable water. You have to place some potable water in a beaker, and you have to switch on the instrument. You can see that 1055 microsiemens per centimeter. The next, seawater. Seawater, you have to place the seawater in a beaker, and you have to switch on. You can see that 56000 microsiemens per centimeter. Next, you have to select brackish water, and this brackish water has a peculiar taste, salty in nature and peculiar taste, and you have to switch on you have to place this brackish water in a beaker. You have to switch on. This conductivity is displayed in the conductivity meter. So the electrical conductivity values are tabulated in the table. So here you can see the total pure water 0.055 microsiemens per centimeter, deionized water 0.1, distilled water 0.5, and raw water 50 to 100, and tap water 500 to 800, potable water 1055, sea water 56,000, brackish water